So what are some lessons you can learn in entrepreneurship? I happened to grow up in Wisconsin. I think I mentioned that. Green Bay Packers were the dominant football team at the time. Vince Lombardi was the coach. No stars, just a bunch of guys who played football well together. You look at the Silicon Valley startups that succeed, and you'll find that in almost every case, there were a group of people who worked together as a team before they started the company, spun out or whatever. They were more married to their teamness and their technology than they were to their employer. And so when you look across Silicon Valley startups and you try and understand entrepreneurship, you'll always find that those with a balanced team do well. I'm sure other people have come in here and told you that the things that we invest in are like a stool. You got to have four legs. One is kind of science, one is manufacturing, one may be science or sales and marketing, and one may be admin and finance. The legs of that stool are all the same length to get a decent foundation to build a company. But if one of them is real long and three of them are real short, you got a pretty wobbly stool. And so the things that I've learned in building companies are to invest in teams, not Nobel laureates. Teams make a big difference. Second thing is you got to understand the marketplace. Only thing that matters is dominating a segment of the marketplace. And so ultimately, you will never succeed no matter what you do if you don't dominate some marketplace. Most of my friends are pretty ignorant about the marketplace. So we love our technology, we love our company, we love what we're doing, we're going to build our fortune around that technology. Forget that. Ask yourself, what's the marketplace and how does technology help me get there? And understand that confluence, because marketplace will ultimately be critical to you. Thirdly, everybody who walks into my office has a patent. Everybody has a technology. That's not the question. The question is, what are the barriers to entry? How do you prevent others from being in your business? What are the things that you can do to raise barriers of entry? So it isn't getting patents. That's a given. You got to have something that's protectable. That has nothing to do with success. It's raising barriers to entry, and there's lots of ways to do that. As I indicated, in the life sciences business I live in, you got to understand the capital markets because you're going to be capital market dependent for a decade. And interestingly enough, the way you get your money will dictate your strategy. If you went over to the business school, they would tell you, figure out your strategy, go finance your business. In our world, the financing will dictate the strategy. Let me give you a simple example. If you come to me and use my money, and you say, Steve, I want to lose money for a decade, I want to do this, but here's what I'm going to build, and I buy that, you have permission to do that. That then governs the strategy, what you do. If an alternative is we go public day one, we know that that company has to have quarter-to-quarter profitability, sales growth, all the things. So the determinant of the strategy is the way you did the financing. So what you got to do in building a company is understand the agenda behind the capital, because everybody's agenda, you can say everybody in the Silicon Valley and Sand Hill Road operates the same way. It's wrong. All of us have different appetites, different interests. But the way you choose your financing strategy will ultimately dictate your business strategy. And all that business school teaching that you may have or may have heard of is actually wrong in my industry, in this industry. And then lastly, I'll tell you a quick story. I helped a guy named Adam Osborne create Osborne Computer years ago. Osborne, you guys were not even in the womb when Osborne Computer came. But in the growth of the Silicon Valley, we had this company called Osborne Computer that built a computer that was kind of like if you had Jeep build a computer, kind of heavy metal, 3-inch screen. It was the forerunner of the laptop of today. Adam Osborne took that company from 0 to 100 million in sales to 0 in 3 years. I helped him do that. Now, where Adam failed was interesting. He clearly had the market. Everybody wanted a laptop. You have trouble today realizing we lived in a world without laptop computers, but we all did. So Adam built what was ultimately the dominant company in laptop computing. But what did he do wrong? So he had the Osborne 1, sold 100 million, took off. It was the hottest thing going. And what did he do? He announced the Osborne 2. A little bigger screen, a little more functionality. And what happened at that moment? Not one person bought another Osborne 1. They said, I'm going to wait for the Osborne 2. That's a better machine. The supply lines clogged up. The company folded. They never got the Osborne 2 to the market. The company was history. Strategy was right. Tactics was wrong. So people fail in our business because they fail tactically. They get the wrong money, or the wrong money at the right at the wrong. Don't get money at the right time. Tactics of success are far more important than strategy. So those are a couple lessons that may be helpful to you as you think about entrepreneurial success.